we got to start to focus on the more important stuff now. We got to shift gears here. I don't want to do these pissing contests and, well, you know, people keep throwing out this bet. I mean, you guys all know this stuff already. I mean, Colty never accepted it. Colty's just like a piece of shit. I mean, basically that's what it is. He's a piece of shit. And if people want to question my honor and integrity, that's okay. Most of the people who do this stuff don't have any integrity. I'm not deleting my account because of that guy, Seth. I broke those contracts about a week and a half ago. And whenever people are going to get pissed off at me, I don't care if they're going to get pissed off at me.
'79T 2458 Learning Corp Little Red Riding Hood, take one.
I haven't done the full one of those in forever. Hey, welcome. It's Tekken for Pennies. Exactamundo. All right, dudes. I've got, it's a good one. It's a good one. I realized it's, how do I even want to start this? Because, like, we've had fun. I think we've had fun. And I think we've, for the most part, got stuff done. This, you know what spawned this? It was last week or the week before. I don't remember which. Thank you very much, sir. So first off, just because winter's coming, I've put the Hawaiian shirts sort of away. And this is one of the first sweaters I ever had on for this thing. It's a British khaki. And I was literally sitting at this desk taking the first photos for the newsletter and stuff. It's pretty nostalgic. Anyway, so that was like 6 years ago. 6? I want to say 6. Could be 7. Could be 5. It's around there. And it was all, oh, it's going to be great. Like, so many of you guys don't know about this amazing thing. It's actually pretty useful. I think there's like a solid business case to be made for just like, fuck, here's everything that I've had in the last 6-7 years, succinctly put. You can take value from it if you want to. You know, let's try and make this a viable thing. I'd argue for the most part it worked. I think it worked. I mean, a lot of people have managed to make some pretty healthy and some unhealthy careers out of it. Like, you got Rolo, I mean, it's rational male. Like, what can you say about that? It's Book of Job type stuff, right? Lots of guys got value from it. Lots of guys didn't, but that's not his fault. Some people just aren't made to succeed. Like, I'll say this much. When you have been here watching red pill guys do red pill things for any amount of time, like, I don't think genetic determinism is a thing, but like, watching guys do sexual strategy is the best case made for it. Sometimes I just wonder. Well, I don't just wonder, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I'm on live chat. I can see you guys. Don't worry. Anyway, I know this is kind of rambling. I'm not actually getting to the point yet, but I kind of am, because last week it was, I had the audacity and had this stupid idea to bring up some of like actual shit in my life. I regret doing that ever since. And it was just general like concerns that people have, because, you know, I'm not 20. So I'd like to think that I've built some success over my lifetime to the point that I'm kind of hedged against bad things happening. And I think all adults should be there. If you're working at McDonald's at 16, it's great. I think it's awesome. If you're working at McDonald's at 40, then you've made some really bad decisions. Anyway, so there's a few accounts that I recognize. Like, yeah, some of you guys, like, I know Jack, I know Stripper. Some of you guys I just recognize because over the years you do comments, and I don't comment on a lot of the comments, but I would say I probably read 90% of the comments that have been on all of my videos, and you start to notice certain people. And there was one account, and I don't want to pick a fight or anything there because that's not the point, who was like really early on here, like 6 years ago. talking about stuff, and he had a fucking meltdown over money issues, and everybody kind of caught on, like, oh, it's okay, so he's insecure about money, so he's gonna lash out if I'm talking about money in a positive way, and I get that. But then I got thinking, it's like 6 years, man. Like, I've been here for 6 years. I'm not selling pick up the stripper of your lifetime courses. I'm not selling crypto your way to Elon Musk's house. I'm not. There's even that one guy who took the course how to steal that chick from the dude you like or something, like, I don't know. It's long story. It's huge lore. It's whatever. And it's like, it's been 6 years. Like, are you still having these issues and watching me after 6 years? And I thought, and I'm not surprised by it, because there's always going to be an alpha as wolf type. There's always going to be a true datness. And if you guys don't know who they are, I've had them on some mids watches, right? Guys that just, there you go. Here is a roadmap of things that worked for other people. You're going to have to put in some effort. You're going to have to make some sacrifices. Good luck. And at the end, they're like, hey, stop making me feel bad. So it's kind of disheartening. And if it wasn't for the fact that I got the Patreon with the guys there, where I kind of teach this like a syllabus, I'd have fucking burnt out by now. I'd probably be in jail with Stedman. I mean, I wouldn't, but you know what I mean. No, metaphorical jail. And I just realized, like, there's a lot of guys out there who just, come hell or high water, are committed to the cause, and the cause is just meh. I don't even want to do some marketing shit like being their best self or accepting failure, or, you know what I mean? All those like catchy terms. Cause I was like, why would I do that? Can you imagine sharing a bunk with him? Oh, I can. Unless he gives me a carton of smokes a week, I'm sharing a bunk with him, if you catch my drift. You should play that Stedman smell ad. Yeah. I'm gonna go through all the ads here, because I don't know if you noticed, but on the thumbnail, it's number 7 on there. Pay attention to that over the next coming weeks. Yeah, and that's why I kind of have the thumbnail the way it is right now. Like, let me pull it up again so I can actually look at it while I'm talking about it. Didn't you just make the thing like an hour ago? Yeah, but my memory's not what it used to be. Yeah. I watch MaNoSpHeRe CoNtENT, and it's a guy with like the VR headset on. He's like some cyberpunk macho dude in the inside. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that was kind of what got this thing started. Anyways, enough of that. Let's start goofing around. I think that's a strong enough meandering introduction. That kind of like, what the fuck is he even talking about? He's talking about being disheartened that most guys, like, there's a certain contingent of guys that don't do shit. And I don't mean that in the way you think either, because like there's always been that, and I'll give you some examples later on. So the real important thing, if you guys have not seen it yet, I guess Mr. George fucking Bruno. Actually, no, here. Where is it? I got it from like years ago. I'll find it. Take it for pennies. Indian poop. Some of my names on this thing are just ridiculous. MaNoSpHeRe Morning. I think it's this one.
Oh, hoo boy. Oh no, go back to it. Get back there. Where's my George Bruno? Ah, there she is.
I'm gay.
Scrolling here until we find Mr. George Bruno. Do you see that Waffle House there? There's murderers in there.
So there's like some lore. There's like an iceberg, and some of you guys might know this and some of you might not. I went to this convention back in 2017, 2018, back when I was still working. Actually, I might even, no, I was corporate then. I was out of the military by then. And there was an MC. His name was George fucking Bruno. And he was like nice and cordial and on whatever. And then all of a sudden one day, for no reason whatsoever, just starts lashing out at everybody, tries doxing me, tries doxing Rolo, tries doxing his family. Like unhinged bullshit, right? So to me, I'm like, all right, take care. Nice working with you. I'll see you later. And just unhinged clipping at her heels, which we weren't. I'm not that big. I'm not a thing. I'm not a thing. So when people are clapping back at me, I'm like, why are you clapping back at me? I'm not a thing. Why don't you clap back at something that is a thing? So on the rare possibility that you might, get something out of it. And I was like, all right, whatever. Fuck do I know? Anyway, so some years go by and I have like this ad. It's like gentle poking. It was a bit of a meme because the man put out a video about what's wrong with the MaNoSpHeRe, or we can't be moral, or red pill, something to the effect of red pill bad, Rolo jerk, George Bruno great. And it started the meme of live streaming from your Toyota Tacoma, which is kind of a tip from this other guy, 33 Secrets, who was around before I showed up. And he used to read the Rational Mail from inside his car in his garage in between workouts. It was like the weirdest grifty stuff ever. But it was just such an unhinged, meandering, rambling mess that I found it enjoyable as shit, man. Like at one point he's just sitting there about everybody's a dick and you guys are jerks. And then he just kind of stops out of the middle of nowhere and he's like, see that building over there? And it's like, obviously we can't, but he's looking at it. You see that building over there? There's murderers in there. And I know he was trying to be profound, but it was like, people that have accidental comedic timing, that's my kryptonite. I'm not going to lie. I was laughing my ass off. So that's been the meme for a while. Anyways, out of nowhere, I don't know when the hell this happened, because I'm up with this unhinged rant. I'm not going to put it on here because I'll explain why in a sec, but I have it on my Substack. Let me see if I can put a link to it so you guys can go look at it yourself. How do I pull up my own goddamn notes on this stupid app? Dude, Substack's annoying the shit out of me. Oh wait, maybe it's under... Nope. Dude, they've really got to work that out so I can look over my own notes. Anyway, goes on this unhinged rant, yells at Jack, yells at Nuke, yells at me. I'm like, why did you yell at me? You haven't been relevant in forever. I really want to get the link too, because if I don't get the link, you guys would be just like, all right, whatever. Somebody's yelling at somebody else. But like it really is like good. It's really good. If he had on purpose made this as a comedy routine, I'd subscribe. But he didn't. Dude, Substack's fucking weird. Yeah, we're not unhinged. We're Italian. Is George Bruno an Italian name? I didn't even know. I guess it makes sense. Bruno, like anything that ends in O is Spanish, and anything that ends in A is like Latin. God, I'm just killing the pacing and the vibe of this fucking thing. Just 'cause I'm scrolling this stupid thing, looking for one stupid post with one dumb old man yelling at the clouds. Oh, you're killing me. All right, I'm about to give up. Yeah. Maybe it's on Twitter instead. Anyway, so I'm like, what the hell? But it was just so goddamn good. It was the effect of, like, he's a nice looking guy. He's got a nice smile. I found it.
Ryan Stone, another
I can't play that because it's got some slurs. It's got some slurs. There you go. It's like 30 seconds. You can watch it, then come back. I'll ramble a little bit and install so that way you can enjoy it for what it is. I'll quote my quote. Yeah, old man yelling at cloud. He literally is. And it's just funny because he's in the Toyota Tacoma. He's dressed like he's going to work, wherever the hell that is. And he's like, he's got a nice smile. He's a halfway decent looking guy. He can be a gentleman when he chooses to. And then a giant bundle of sticks. Something about honor, something about integrity, something about real men show their real face. Reach out to me. I just want to talk. And then, hey, and he's like calling to the George Bruno army. Would somebody dox these fucking guys and send me their emails? I was just like, Jesus. But here's the thing. And then everybody's like, you should make an ad for this. And I could, and it'd be a really fucking good ad too. Like, it would be awesome. It would have it would be one of those ones that like Governor says, where you watch it first to get the whole vibe and just take it all in. but there would be so many like little Easter eggs and callbacks and stuff packed into it that you would have to watch it a second time, pausing constantly to see the little parts there and enjoy it on a whole new level. I can do this. I want to do this. I don't think he's well. I worry about this. I don't think he's well. And it's not the first MaNoSpHeRe guy I've seen do this. Alpha as Wolf did this. True Datness did this. 88 did this. So many guys have done this. And it's like serious. Anthony Johnson did this. Gay Luboyle did this. I can give you like 20 names of people who have just lost their fucking mind out of nowhere. And I worry, but by making an ad out of this one, it's kind of encouraging mental instability. So I might do it, but I'm trying. But Lord is my savior, or Lord is my shepherd. I'm trying my best. I'm trying to be better. You keep asking me if I'm back, and I didn't have an answer for you, and I'm trying not to be back. But I mean, these guys are always here, and it's hard because they're the loud ones. And I think as content creators, this is why a lot of guys who do it on this side of the fence absolutely shit the pooch. Or shit the bed, screw the pooch. Let's just mix metaphors, because why not? Fuck it. If I could see Tyson's bare asshole, you guys can take some mixed metaphors. So, and it's partially audience capture, right? You know, you're sitting here, you're doing things, you're like, what does the audience want to do? You want to see numbers go up, you want to see income go up, so what do? Well, there's a bunch of comments on this topic, so I'll do something on this topic. Oh, there's a lot of other content creators talking about this topic, so I'll do things on this topic. And you're not realizing that you're having a distorted, astroturfed worldview coming through. Because crazy people are loud. Crazy people have no shame. Crazy people are willing to post an unhinged psychedelic rant. Like, they don't give a fuck. And the thing about loud, crazy people is it's entertaining. Like, I have watched this George Bruno video, I shit you not, 12 times. It's still, like, time 12, it's still as funny as the first time. I'm waiting for like a punchline and it never changes, and I'm like, dude, that's still good. This is like the Die Hard of shit posting. Like every Christmas. The Manifesto. Oh yeah, there's the Manifesto guy too. I forgot about him. I mean, which one, I guess? George Sedini? Elliot Rodger? Alec Minasan? Where do we start? Where do we finish? So here's what happens, right? You get loud people like this, and it's exciting and it's new, and most content creators or like authors or videographers or whatever you want to call them, people on YouTube, have no imagination. I don't want to say no talent, because like Pearl, as much as I think she's a goofy centaur bitch, she's got, at least she's hired the people who have talent to make whatever the fuck that is she makes. But if you have nothing to talk about and you don't know what you're doing, then you're going to grab onto the newest shiny thing, right? And oh, old man yelling at clouds, great shiny thing. We all get to have a laugh. And most people's content isn't even some kind of poignant commentary, some salient satire of the situation, not even just leaning into the absurdity. It's like Sniper Wolf shit. If you guys don't know what that means, you'll figure it out. It's like where you just look at it and describe what you're looking at, and then that's the joke. Oh my God, he's an old man. He's yelling in his car. Oh, he called me a slur. That's crazy. And then it's like, okay, and? Like, I saw that. I saw the same thing. You're literally telling people how to feel. And this is the part that gets me, because like, it's red pill content, sure. But they're doing the exact thing that the red pill content suggests isn't good. No, I haven't done that yet. Dog eye drops. Yeah, and they're doing the exact thing. You know, be your best self. Let's shit on the old man for 20 minutes. Like, it's not best. It's fun as shit, though. Anyways, it's called audience capture. I talk about it often enough. You'll see it when people start accounting for black-pilled doomers whenever they talk about their like, what the fuck is a black-pilled doomer? You know what I mean? Out of all the marketing outgroups you need to make as a villain for your for your shitty hero's journey, the content creator hero's journey, call to action. Yell at George Bruno. Make a video critiquing the black pill doomers as some, like, the black pill doomers say this, but I say no. It's like, do you know who these people are? This is what the black pill doomers are. Look, unhinged people in Toyota Tacomas yelling at you. They're in your comment sections like, I'm tired of your champagne millionaire bullshit things about your concerns about your mortgage, fucker. And I'm like, what the fuck? At least, and granted, at least George is funny. At least George is funny. Most of the stuff is just like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know? Seems like he's on the road, gonna go full Roman McClay. Oh, we'd be so lucky. The problem is Roman didn't talk. Roman was quiet. That's why you knew Roman was gonna be Roman. Yeah, and I even know how to lean into it, right? Because Jack's talking about, oh yeah, on the Orion channel. I just put in every video, I put a little 2-minute segment where I shit on communists for being stupid. And then sure as shit, some wannabe communist is in the comments with like 1,000-word essays. This is why I think you're an idiot. And they're like, all right, post it on the thing. Hey guys, look, the stupid commies. The stupid movie commies are the black pill doomers of my movie review channel. Alpha AK $5.01 super chat actually is pretty good. At this point, I'm surprised you haven't made a retard meter, ranging from I funny retard all the way to go to jail retard. I had not thought of that, but now that it's in my head, I don't know. So here's my initial like brainstorming on it. I picture the Costco kid that's like Boom or Doom for candy or whatever, like that, but a lampoon of that for like the retard meter. I give this retard boom, and then play that goofy like Bartman rap song that they have about doing the boom. But here's the thing. All this stuff takes effort. It takes effort. It takes time. It takes resources. Time is a resource. Effort's a resource. Work is a resource. There's so many things I can do and not enough time. And while laughing at retards is entertaining as shit, and it fills a lot of time on these podcasts so we can have a good laugh at it together, it's not really a moneymaker. It's more of like a inside joke between us. So I like them. And yeah, and I've already been saying, like, I've been working my ass off, workaholic for like the last 6 months here. And I think Nick said it best. He's like, hey, don't ever do that again. When it was like me sending him work to get edited. He's like, don't ever do this again. This is ridiculous. And I was like, yeah, fair. Anyways, so the point of this is it kind of ruins it for everybody. So you got people that are that self-proclaimed thought leaders. And they're not really leading anything. They're just doing standard marketing drivel. And it's not even their fault, because it's not that they know they're doing it. It's not a conscious choice. It's just literally chasing cars. A dog chasing cars. You'll never catch one because black pill doomers don't exist. Oh, there is definitely guys. Didn't you see that chart where 30% of men aren't having... Oh, a chart. Well, why didn't you tell me? I didn't realize there was a statistic. But they don't realize it because it's just, okay, I see chart means science science means truth. Therefore, black pill doomers are a thing. They are here, that's a thing. And it's like, my brother in Christ. Assuming that infographic is leading to an actual study, which it usually isn't, and assuming that study was done with due rigorous process, which it often isn't, it often hasn't, and assuming the guy doing it isn't biased in such a way as to render it useless, which they usually are, and assuming he didn't do any like shady stuff to help him succeed as a social scientist, like p-hacking or whatever, which they probably have, and assuming the summary accurately represents the data, which it usually doesn't, and assuming the person who took it to make that infographic read past the fucking abstract and made sure it was all good and did his due diligence, which he didn't. And then assuming that all of that stuff is correct, the person broadcasting it to you, taking all of these inputs and providing a concise output to you as a way you can guide your life based on these statistics, knows what the fuck they're talking about, which he doesn't, then yes, Oh, the chart makes perfect sense. Just a big fucking if attached to it, you know? That's why I just disregard statistics. Why? And yeah, lies, damn lies, statistics. It's not wrong. It's not wrong. Remember that statistic where eating chocolate helps you lose weight? Remember that statistic saying the mRNAs were safe? Remember that one? Remember that statistic saying that Canadian youth in Asia would be ultimately a good thing? Remember that stat? I remember that stat. Remember that one saying the Ukraine war would be done? Remember that? Every time I think about stats, I think about that one slide. There's like a war on terror slideshow that they had out in like 2003. And there was the one slide that showed the complexity of the thing. And if you've seen it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, just look it up. War on terror slideshow. And you'll probably see exactly what I'm talking about. It's like the most convoluted chart ever. It's got 500 different bubbles leading, the swim lane diagrams all crazy, and it kind of shows you it's like absolutely ridiculous, right? Every time I see statistics, that's all I think. I need you to think something. Therefore, I am going to do the exact amount of rigor and work that I need to do to drive you to that direction. I'll forget data if it doesn't support it. I'll make inferences where there aren't any. I'll draw conclusions when I probably shouldn't. I'll have a level of confidence that I have no business having, and I'll hand it off to some Destiny-looking idiot who's like, well, that's... And then as a content creator, you look at that, and you're just... I don't know how you could be part of, like, the MaNoSpHeRe and not have a skeptical eye on that. Ryan Holiday wrote Mike Cernovich, Tucker Max, they were the MaNoSpHeRe. And they wrote the fucking book on how this is bullshit. And how do they know it was bullshit? Because, like, I made the bullshit. All of it is bullshit. The Puff Daddy files are bullshit. Remember that when they found out there was no such thing as an East Coast, West Coast rivalry? They just made it up to sell albums. Remember that? Remember that? Where they're like, yeah, Tupac was gay and Biggie. I just wanted to fuck Biggie in the cornhole. And so I used the contract to like make so he couldn't leave. And like all these hardcore gangster rappers, and you realize it's just like, it's like an orgy. It's like, what the hell? I'm starting to wonder now, like, was the Wu-Tang the ones, when they say Wu-Tang ain't nothing to fuck with, did they really mean that? Were they talking to Puff? I don't know. Oh, you'll know the chart. Instead of Canadian youth in Asia, you got Asian youth in Canada. Oh, damn it, Nick. You should write a book. That's goddamn clever. Yeah, so yeah, it's worth the read. Like, it's not sidebar. It's not that, but it's good. It's called Trust Me, I'm Not Lying, or Trust Me, I Am Lying. Ryan Holiday. You can't miss it. And he brings up, like, for example, Tucker Max, if you remember, he was like the misogynist that all the women hated. And there was all of these news stories coming about how feminists were attacking him. They were defacing his billboard for his thing. They were doing this, doing that. All bullshit. Tucker Max paid for a billboard. Ryan Holiday went and like scratched it up, spray painted it, whatever, took a photo, sent it off to a blog. He's like, hey, I got a story for you. Because the blogger, like, it was like Perez Hilton or one of those kind of guys back in the day. If you don't know who this is, doesn't matter. Just back in the day, bloggers were like low-key, like new journalists. And they don't have to, they're a blogger. They don't have any ethical standards. It's just get something out, because if I don't make a blog payment this week, I don't get my AdSense revenue, and I don't pay rent. So they just throw out whatever. Oh my God, feminists attack Tucker Max. Buy my book. And then it's such like it was essentially no different than watching Bruno yelling at the fucking clouds. No different. No different than Stedman calling Soul Bra a fucking asshole because he called him an ostrich. It's like, it's no different than any of that stuff. It's no different than Matt Walsh yelling at me because I don't have a father or some shit like that. You know what I mean? It's exactly the same, except for back then they were like, it's staged. Wrestling versus backyard wrestling. So the blogs start writing about it, and then all of a sudden some, like, you know, Breitbart, like, you know what I mean? Like not national news, but like normal news. And they pick it up. So like, oh, wow, this blog talked about this thing. Here's the story. It's unconfirmed, whatever. And then it goes up the chain up the chain with a garbage in, garbage out thing. Now, a bigger news aggregator picks that up going, well, we got two sources for this. We got this blog and this reputable newspaper. And then by the time then you get all the way up to the top to like NBC or some MSNBC, Fox News thing. Multiple sources have confirmed Tucker Max's billboard's been defaced. The evilest misogynist, blah, blah, blah. Reading from reading from PR that Tucker Max fucking sent them. Yeah, they do that too. He even talks about this thing. It was so funny because I could tell back in the day, Anthony Johnson. Remember this fucking guy? Where the hell is he? Do I even have his thing on here or did I delete? Oh, I still got it. Yeah, this guy.
Boom, what's up fam? Got some big news to share that unfortunately is not so good, so I'm gonna jump right into it. You're gonna watch this video and you're gonna cry. At least we can laugh at your eyes as you cry like in the corner like a little f***ing girl in the fetal position.
Yeah, that guy. I knew when he read the book because you could like see, I could tell what chapter he was on based on what shenanigans he was doing to survive his business, which didn't work, by the way. That convention fucking all he had to do was not try to fuck Rolo's daughter or harass him for 3 years. And he could have had like a nice 6-figure salary in Florida, had his family, done his thing, fucked up all that. Fuck that. I haven't failed yet. I need to get on that. Every man fails before he succeeds. It's like, why not just not fail? No, I got this. So there is services. They're like newswire services. And you put out a PR statement and you put it in there. You pay certain money. It spreads it out to, AP and a whole bunch of other ones. And then news channels, if they need to fill a content like a 24-hour news cycle or whatever their cycle is, they subscribe to these news wires and then they just pick stories out of it. I need 20 stories, each one lasting about 20 minutes to handle 15 hours of content for Tuesday. Bam, 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 bam. Now your story's out there. Then you get to link to it. It's like, hey, I got a thing in Fox's local affiliate in Houston, Texas. And you're like, holy shit, these people are getting bigger. And it's not. It's all AstroTurf shit, right? And this is where I'm getting to the point where like the red pill guys have jumped the shark. They're starting to buy into as the wrestlers say, they're buying into their own marks. Ultimate Warrior legally changed his name to Warrior. Terry Boella or whatever his name was. Yeah, Terry Bodella is now like, no, it's Hulk, brother. I am Hulkamania. I am Americana, brother. Bret Hart decided to change his name legally to Bret Hart. you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Where they start like believing the hype. And that's where we're at now. It was better. That's the problem, is that it was better when there was a self-awareness that this is wrestling. Some people didn't know, like some of the crowds didn't know. You guys probably thought, oh my God, the Tucker Max thing was real. Or, oh my God, this stuff was real. And oh my God, Bruno's really mad. It's like, I don't even think Bruno really cares. If I had to take a guess, this George Bruno rant that I linked you, I like how I'm pointing at it. Do you know what? Do I really want to demonet? You know what? Fuck it. You guys have got some super chats going. Look, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to need some super chats now because I'm going to put the thing up here. And yeah, YouTube's going to be like, Ian, no. You're not getting any money off of this. Let me find it. Son of a bitch. It is funny. Like, granted, it is funny. But Jesus. Now, where would I have saved it? I think memes? Bud Light, Mom Storytelling. No, it's not memes. It's probably just videos then. There she is. All right. You've been warned. If you have delicate sensibilities.
Ryan Stone, another fucking faggot. Socially retarded faggot, okay?
Don't start yet, you son of a bitch. I'm not ready yet.
Ryan Stone, another fucking...
Pause that. I have to do some, like, screen shit here. There we go. You guys are watching me make a Red Morning ad in real time. Crazy, isn't it? Now, I can't hear it yet, so I have to do one last change, and then we're good to go. All right. Let's start this again.
Stone, another fucking faggot. Socially retarded faggot, okay? He's a halfway decent looking guy, a nice smile. He can be a gentleman. He's snarky as fuck, even in person. And you have to get through that wall because he puts a wall up. He can't handle people in person, yet he blocks me and talks shit about he and Jack Napier and Ryan Stone. Two fucking fake names. Somebody find out their fucking real names for me and email me.
You know what? Worth. That was probably a $200 decision to make right there, but fucking worth. Worth. All right, let it fly. Doesn't even matter. I'll do some super chats here because right now I kind of need some. Thank you, guys. Andrew Tate's Romanian passport. Love the F-commie rants. I recommend Frame and Dread to a friend who's dealing with a rocky marriage, and I know he got Frame. Oh, that's good. That's good. Save him a lot of pain and doing a lot of stupid mistakes. Hey, if you end, like, I know I say don't red pill your friends, but if he does have potential and he does, like, if he is open to stuff, the big point to drive home to, this is the common one I've seen for guys with the rocky marriage, possibly divorce, is that they double down on, like, teaching that bitch a lesson. A lot of guys, they let their emotions get them, and they justify it by saying it's some kind of like, no, it's just she needs to blah, blah, blah. Is this? As soon as you start seeing that, it's like, stop worrying about revenge. Stop worrying about comeuppance. Just focus on your best outcomes, whether it's divorce, whether it's together, whatever. Because that's, out of all the sticking points, that's the one that screws guys up. So I almost want to add an amendment, like another addition to that, where I kind of put that in its own section because it's just that important of a thing. But I mean, second edition, that'll be an extra issue. Red Pill TRM $20 super chat. Oh no, we've gone divisible by 5. That's 4 heartfelts. Oh, we made it so far. All right. You win. Where is he? Dude, I have too many of these ads. I can't find them anymore. I have to, like, they need a search function. The hell was his name again? Murphy. Here you go.
So the meme, they're very good. This is really, they've taken it.
True Alpha.
Named Ryan Stone.
This says, ask Murphy about the article he wrote, cuckolding his wife. Clear up the cuck article. Clear up the cuck article.
Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me?
If I wasn't prepared to literally impoverish his entire bloodline,
I am now concerned for my career.
And I still recommend clear up the cuck article.
You know what? Fuck you for bringing this up. Yeah. Fuck you. Heartfelt.
I'm not going to have those guys back on my channel again. Absolutely not.
Just use a little bit of fucking common sense.
It is just...
That's great. That's you should.
Fuck you.
Sorry, apologies.
Just keep going, dude. One foot in front of the other. Before you know it, this will all be in the rearview mirror. Fuck you.
Do you see what I mean? Another man yelling at clouds. It's like a weekly occurrence. Hey, who lost their shit today? I don't know. Anyways, Red Pill TRM, that's for you, sir, for the demon of the video. We also got MQ Texter Shy. Is that how I'm supposed to say it? MQ Texter Shy? Or MQ Meek Text Urshi? You know what? I'm going to say MQ Texter Shy. I think that makes more sense. Sounds very like old school British. For your 129 devil Scoobies. I don't know what the fuck that currency is. My bad. Man, what do stutters like a beta at the presence of a true alpha male? Not Ryan Stone. I don't care about Ryan Stone. It's not your fault. It's me. I got the walls. He's got walls up. He doesn't open up to guy. Will somebody find me his real life information? Wonder why that wall's up, Bruno. And then Alpha AK, $5 1 cent super chat. Thank you, sir, for not breaking team. Couch is ranked social retard on the retard meter. I don't know why he doesn't want to deal with people. I don't think he can deal with people. I've been yelling at him for days and nothing. It's sometimes mysteries are just left unanswered. That's what he gets. That's what she gets for reading that super chat. Yeah, teach that bitch a lesson. How do you not love your job, man? I come into work every day, and every day it's like this. It's like, how could I not? And then when I think, oh, okay, that's great, Then the Roar Squad comes in. My friends, I would take a bullet for these people, and they're harsher than him. They sent me a bunch of memes. I'm like, fuck you guys. Governor sending me Reagan, tear down Ryan's wall. I'm like, fuck. For some reason, this stream is refusing to play on my device. That's probably because of the George Bruno video. That's on me. He was yelling a lot of slurs very loudly. I made a call. It wasn't the best call, but it is the call. So yeah, buying your mark. That's where we're at right now, man. Buying our mark. Because I don't think that's fake. I don't think that's, hey, I could leverage this into peeling off a couple of his subscribers. I don't think it's that. Because I don't have a lot of subscribers. This channel is not like some fast growing thing. The Fresh and Fit was. And even now they're dying off. They're at the point now where they're like, and this is the part that kills me too. It's like a little history lesson, man. Had you seen the Tucker Mac stuff, you see how it ends. Tucker and Holiday and Cernovich, were like, we got to pivot. I think even Cernovich at one point's like, man, this MaNoSpHeRe is such a shithole. I got to get out of here. And then he went over to politics, which, whew, thank God, I was worried you'd have to spend the rest of your life in a shithole there. Which is fucking wild anyway, because his entire fortune right now is based on his wife being the general counsel for Facebook, and he's got all the divorce money from that. So he's got like Facebook startup founder. He's literally like, those gold digging bitches. It's like Cernovich is that, which good for him. I'm like, dude, why should Jeff Bezos' ex-wife have all the fun? If these troons have taught us nothing, it's that when we compete in women's sports, we conquer it. And yeah, divorce settlements. If guys are switched on, we can fucking crush it. Pat Stedman's Polish passport, $4.99 super chat. Am I getting pardoned by Orange Man? That's honestly, out of the whole Pat Stedman tragic arc, that's the hey, what's up, Alex? That's the one thing that makes me laugh is Trump is our savior. Like, oh wait, I got the one here. I'll put it in. Is it this one?
I can tell you that if it is that way, you have to conclude that Trump betrayed us. In your heart, do you believe that Trump betrayed you? Some people are saying that. I don't feel it. I don't feel it. I don't feel it. I don't feel
it. Trump didn't betray us. Biden's the one who let him out. Well, Biden's the one who put him in jail. Well, technically, he put himself in jail, but yeah, Biden set him free 7 years early. Nah, man, get out of here. It's fine. And now he's like, yeah, is Trump going to pardon me? He should be thanking Biden, the Dark Biden, or what's it they call him? Dark Biden. What's that new thing he's doing now that he voted for Trump? At this point, you'd need an expungement, not a pardon. Oh. See, that's funny. I don't know American criminal law too well. But over here, a pardon is the purpose of a pardon. It's been so long, I hope I don't fuck this up. But a purpose of a pardon is after you've been convicted, you've done your time, you get out. It shows up when everybody does criminal record checks and that. It prevents you from getting jobs, blacklisted from government work, blah, blah, blah. And a pardon is the purpose of getting that stuff done. An expungement is just where they remove all the file completely. As opposed to just they can't pull it up when they're doing criminal record checks and you're no longer blacklisted from stuff. But I'd have to look into it. I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point. He's made his call. He's like, no, God, guns, and family, and prison. I'm going to be the next Jess James. Dark Brandon. That's the one. But yeah, that's because he bought his mark. Tucker Max didn't actually commit a crime. He faked a crime. And then he percolated through the media thing so people could spread it with plausible deniability. Oh my God, the feminists are going after you. Yeah, can you believe it? Crazy, isn't it? Better get some security. He didn't get security. Meanwhile, these guys are like, hey, I'm going to go get arrested. Hey, I'm going to yell in my car. And I guess apparently he has like a few of these. I've only seen this one because that's what you guys sent me. And I'm not hunting for this stuff because like I said, I don't want to make an ad out of it. I'm a dick. I put up a wall. Nice looking guy, halfway decent. Can be a gentleman if he wants to. And my opinion's going to change. Probably in 2 days, I'll have an ad up for this thing. But like right now, my opinion is I don't like the idea of having a good laugh at somebody losing his shit. And I know the whole reason he sent this. It's not because of Jack's live stream, like he was saying. It's not because of me talking shit behind a block. That's got nothing to do with it. I guarantee you, he just got off the phone with his ex-wife or his estranged children, and he's like, I just want to spend Christmas with you guys. And they're like, fuck you, Dad. Fuck you and your supercut bullshit. And then he hangs up. But he can't, and this is a guess, total guess. And my guess is that he can't come to terms with the failures that he's done to the point that his family doesn't want to deal with him anymore. But you have to project that somewhere. That's not his fault. That's not me. I'm not a bad person. No, it's these fucking red pill guys doing shit like that. That's usually how it works. You know the whole story of like, dad has a bad day at work, boss yells at dad, so dad beats mom, so mom beats the kids, so the kids beat the pets. It's that kind of thing right there. I'm just the pet. Die Hard 3, but sadder. Die Hard 3 starring Ellis. So yeah, I know, we'll see. I'll probably make an ad out of it. What's the thing? Dark Brandon. That shit's funny as hell, man. I heard Trump is going to pardon everybody except for Sad Petman. Okay, so we got a serious one coming up here. We'll do this. Johnny Bravo. How's it going, Dad? Family life is treating you well, I assume? What are your top productivity tips to get business stuff done when you're self-employed, working from home with sex and blowjobs on tap in a 3-year long-term relationship? Honestly, it's just, I don't have like a system. I think it just kind of came naturally to me. But in fairness, so like, here's the thing. I was one of those, smart kids. You know, the Redditors? I was like one of those. Everybody told me I was smart. They put me in the gifted class. They did the IQ tests, all that stuff. It's not a flex. I think it was probably the worst thing they could have done. Your parents telling you're smart is probably the worst thing they can do for you, because you know what smart people do? They don't do nothing. They do whatever comes naturally. Oh, if I don't instantly master this, then there's no point even trying, because if I do something and it's hard and I have to work at it, then I'm clearly not gifted or smart. So I'll just make up some excuse why, I wasn't trying. I don't really care. That's how you can tell a gifted student is a C- student. Just enough not to be a failure. I'd try if I wanted to. It's like funny how you never seem to want to unless it's instant gratification, right? Yeah. So, getting beat up by my stepdad, working on a ranch, hauling irrigation lines, the work ethic there, bucking in the forest on the mountain. That kind of stuff went a long way. And then in the military, just working. And then that kind of slowly percolated its way through my stupidity to where I realized, like, being smart, who gives a fuck? It doesn't really do anything. There's a lot of smart people working for, an 80 IQ dude who lives in a McMansion. No, cover. This isn't Patreon. We're not going there. So when it comes to like getting business stuff done, I just do it. It needs to get done, so do it. Try not to think about it too much. Focus on, and the one thing I do like doing is I don't like multitasking. I don't agree with the idea of multitasking. If I'm going to do multitasking, I'm just going to wait, because you know how you can work on, like, I'll work on and I figured this out early too, when I'm doing a video, I can edit it, and that last 10% is just, it's a slog. It'll take forever to get the last 10% of the video, but I just put it down, go to bed, wake up the next morning, finish it up 5 minutes. And that's when I realized, like, most of the time when I'm doing work, the first 80% of what I'm doing is, productive and great. That last 20% is always a slog. So generally speaking, I have 2 or 3 projects. So like right now, I've got the 2 Praxeology Reader's Digest books. I've got the new fiction one, Dog Walker, Promise Keeper. I don't have a name for it yet. I'm working on it. Call it the Dog Walker. I have that on the go. I have the movie channel, Orion, that I'm trying to get going right now, which it hit monetization. Thank God. It's taken off. It's doing awesome. Loving it. So there, and that's going to be, writing a script, taking footage, editing together, doing the the general, that stuff there. And then on top of that, I've got Substack, weekly post. Do I take an interview on this? And then there's just research into things, research into being a better writer, technology I can maybe use for editing to do things a lot better. And then there's like social media relevant stuff. Hey, just so you know, I'm still on Twitter. Here's notes on Substack, stuff like that. So there's all these things I have to do, but it's not multitasking. I focus on one thing at a time. So for the last little bit, it's been mostly focusing on the dog walker, that book. But then there's times where I notice, and as soon as I notice I'm getting to that, like that last 20% where it starts to become a slog and productivity drops and things take a lot longer than they should, I just drop it and I'll start one of the other things. I'll start on the Rambo video. And I always just do it in order of importance. The book is generally going to be, from a business standpoint, the best revenue generator. Absolutely. So that one gets priority. And then once I start to slacken on that, productivity-wise, I'll switch over to the Rambo one and start doing that. And then when that one gets down productivity-wise, and then ultimately I percolate all the way down until I get to tweet some shit about George Bruno or the Tyson fight. That's if, like, I literally can't get anything else done. And I don't force things, because I find that's the big issue for productivity, is that people treat productivity like a feeling. You know the one? Like, I want to feel productive. I want to feel like a business guy. I fell into that trap at the beginning. Like, when I first started doing this, I felt so guilty about, oh, I just get to sit at home. I could do this in my bathrobe, that I would compensate for that guilt by doing like 16 hours of work a day. And it wasn't productive. It's like after the first 4, your productivity drops from like 100% to like 20%. And you're just force feeding it through all that stuff. And it shows in the quality too. It's not just that you're not productive, but the general work output is shitty too. So once I got out of that stupid idea out of my head that I need to feel guilty about having an easier job than I had when I was digging fucking ditches or hauling lines or sailing. I haven't had to throw up at work once. This is so much easier. I'm guilty for this. Like, no, just let that shit go. Dude. I've done the digging ditches. I've done the chasing cows up and down mountains twice a year. I've hauled irrigation. At this point, I'm just like, you know what? If I can get everything here done in 4 hours on a Tuesday, fuck it. And that's the one thing I found. So as far as getting business stuff done, if I don't try to force the feeling of being busy, the feeling of being productive, the feeling of being an employee for myself, and I just worked on just getting stuff done and doing it sustainably. Like if I am not able to get something done, I just don't get things done. It'll come back. I'll go have a nap. If I'm that tired that I have a hard time getting through work, the whole point of doing this, taking the risk of doing it for yourself, is like, if I'm too tired to work, go have a fucking nap. It'll be fine. So that's my top productivity tip, is to just fundamentally, like, first principles. What is it I'm trying to accomplish here? What's your revenue generating activities? What's your funnel dying? What fits into where? And then once you realize like what it is you're trying to accomplish, it makes it much easier, because then you don't have to think about it and you don't have to feel one way or another about it. Like, I don't have to feel one way or another about what I'm producing to do it if it's any good. Like, I always joke, oh, I fucking hate this book. At the end of every book I write, I fucking hate this book. I'm tired of looking at it. I don't even want to look at the thing. I still do it. Half the time, Nick's coddling me because I'm like, this is a piece of shit. It's not going to sell. I don't know what I'm doing. Please fix it. And he's like, oh, dude, you're fine. Doesn't mean I'm not going to finish it just because I'm fucking, oh, this is brutal. I'm still going to do it. That's the other thing. Just going to do it, because why not? What else are you going to do? You going to do jerk off in your living room all day? I mean, if you need to, do it. But you're like, eh. So yeah, for productivity tips, just stop trying to have the identity of an entrepreneur or a business stuff or self-employed, and just do things. Get things done. Stop being a bitch about it. Stop thinking too hard. Now, granted, I'm thinking back to that fight Jack and I had on this too, right? Where he's like, yeah, it's easy for you to say, because I had a post about don't overthink things. Just fucking go. And he's like, yeah, you overthink a lot to get there. And I'm like, you know what? That's a fair point. Absolutely. Work your ass off to burn yourself out, because you got to know what your limits are, right? Like, I don't know what burning out feels like until I burned out. Once I burned out for the first time, that was military. And I was like, oh, this is what burning out is. All right, I don't like this at all. Like, it's at the, burning, and you don't know burned out until like you have a good night's sleep and you're still tired when you wake up. I would equate it to like physically burning out. Like when I was 16, I was hauling irrigation lines all day in the morning, chasing up the mountain, wearing these big Husqvarna boots. And I remember going to bed, and I was just sore. Like my knees throbbed, my feet throbbed, my head hurt. And then I went to bed, and I woke up and I still hurt like that, but mentally. And I was like, oh. And then once you get there, you're like, all right, so I can go to there and then do what you have to do to never get there. Is that the best way to do things? I don't fucking know. Is that a good way? It works for me. Is there a better way to do it? Is it like an IQ thing? Like if I'm not smart enough, do I have to? I don't fucking know. Figure it out. That's what worked for me. Good luck. Unless that was a humble brag, in which case, congratulations, sir. Yeah, just do it. Yesterday you said tomorrow. Well, see, that with procrastination, that's something totally different. Procrastination is, I don't want to call it laziness. But the only times I've ever been in a big procrastination mood is when somebody's micromanaging me. Like I telling you exactly what to do, taking away your ability to use your own personal autonomy to decide things, right? Like if you can probably cook a lot of food, but if your woman cooks for you all the time and you stop thinking about it, and every time you try to cook, she kicks you out of the kitchen, you're just going to stop putting a lot of effort into it. And I think that's ultimately procrastination. It's a byproduct of a lack of agency. Oh, you told me you were smart. Yeah, I just didn't feel like doing this though. Why is that? Again, lack of agency. Everybody told me I was smart, so I can't work at something and get better because that gets in the way of being smart. That or analysis paralysis. Yeah, that's a whole other beast. But even that, it's just, I'm worried about making the wrong decision. That's ultimately what that gets to. A neurotic fear of a future feeling that you don't even know is true. Like I always laugh at this one. Everybody talks about how they walk on eggshells with their girls and wives and that. And they talk about it like, oh, dude, I can't do that. Are you nuts? She'd fucking lose it. And then what? Like, walk me through. What's the consequence? And they never have an answer. It's always just a vague, bad, like the worst feeling in your head. It's that. It's like, no, it's not. Try it. You call her wife a cunt. She gets mad. What happens? She gets quiet for the weekend. Doesn't talk to you for 2 days. You're sitting there playing Xbox. Like, fuck, it's quiet. Monday morning rolls around. We need to talk. You're like, no, I don't think we do. Quiet treatment for another day. Next day, you wake up, you have breakfast together, life moves on. Holy shit. You mean to tell me I've been terrified of my wife all this time over nothing? Like, yeah. Turns out you weren't afraid of your wife. You were just an idiot. Just neurotic. Yeah, healthy way to make you see past burnout as a positive learning experience. I don't even want to call it a positive learning experience. I think just we're stupid and we have to learn things the hard way. You know? Like, how do you know the stove is hot? Well, touch it. All right. Ow! Do you know this? Are you going to argue with me about the stove? No. All right. How many people would listen to you? How many people think, oh, geez, fucking George Bruno told me about the stove being hot. Well, thank God for that. I'm just never going to touch the stove. You're not going to touch the stove. Yeah, I'll have days where my girl will break up with me over something I said, and then the breakup ends with, I think this was a mistake. Yeah, let them process. That's the thing too, right? It's for that, I'm in a good mood. You're in a bad mood. Okay. Doesn't matter what you do. I'm not joining you on your journey in your bad mood. You do what you got to do. I'm here for you. I'll do what I need to do. But like, I'm in a good mood and I'll continue to be in a good mood. You can be as bad as you want a mood. It's not affecting me. Or if I'm in a shitty mood and she's in a good mood, it's like, look, I'm in a shitty mood. So just leave me be for a bit. It'll pass. Sam Whiskey, $4.99 super chat. Nice shirt, sir. Is that from Pierre Trudeau's fall collection? No. This is from a company called British Khaki. It's one of those British military sweaters because they got like the stitching right here, like the reinforcement stuff. It's almost got like the backpack pattern to it. I fucking love this. It's probably my favorite sweater. Pierre Trudeau's fall collection. Oh, damn it. All right, I got to change pace. I got something I want to get off my chest for you. Oh, wait, yeah, fuck it.
What does this one?
It's a blue light.
What does it do?
Turns blue.
I don't know why I like that one. So Taylor Swift's in Toronto. Taylor Swift's in Toronto right now. And the city, dude, it's like COVID. Like locked down. No cars in the red zone. I'm like in the middle of the red zone. Nobody drives for 2 weeks. Like, what? They're blocking things off. Here's drop-off zones. You're allowed to walk in this zone and do in this zone. Girl and I were like hoarding toilet paper like it's COVID again. You look at the price, like, dude, tickets are like $2,000. This is crazy. Hotels are like 9 times their normal rates. They're just booked solid. And at first I was like, damn it, why do they always have to like ruin the city for this stuff? And you watch, it's like 2 PM and there's like a 3-block lineup. They're wandering the streets. I get why they closed off traffic, by the way, because a lot of the suburbanites, they have no idea how to survive in a city, and they just like wander out into shit. Like, oh, you know the best place to take a picture of the CN Tower? In the middle of the fucking 2 intersections. Right in front of traffic. You're like, holy jeez, these people will die. But I've come to like it. Go walking around town. I haven't seen this many. I'm going to word this well. I need you guys to understand me here. Not listen, but understand. I haven't seen this many Canadians walking the streets since pre-COVID. Like, I just walk out. It's comfortable. It's nice. It's just, hey, like my girl was walking by and there was like a couple of like 4 or 5 girls having a conversation over here. A couple of vanilla frappe type girls. And they're like, oh, I'm trying to find blah, blah, blah. I didn't hear it, but she picked it up and she didn't even break step. She just looks, Sephora's over there. It's by the Lululemon. And the girl's like, oh my God, thank you so much. And yeah, and then there's the chocolate place right there. And it was like, I get it now when you're like at a union and somebody's got seniority. They're like, oh, for the machine, it has a quirk where you got to do this and that. And it was like, oh man, walking in like the matriarch of downtown fun experiences for Canadian chicks, you know? Anyways, everybody's walking around, having fun, glitter. You don't have to worry about nothing. I was like, I haven't felt so Canadian in so long. It was nice. It was very nice. Average looking people. Yeah, you feel like you fit in more. Red zone, white zone from the beginning of the Airplane movie was magic. Oh, yeah. So it's nice. I mean, we're at this point, we're just like, I'm not going to go out to dinner. I'm going to wait it out, just walk around, do stuff. Because I forgot, there's this thing about Toronto is that, and I'm sure it's every big city, but if you're doing any citywide event kind of thing, like a concert or whatever, if there's no paywall, don't go. Don't go unless they have a fee to get in. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I don't care if it's $2. You need an entrance fee to get in. And if you don't, you will see the difference. Toronto. Well, I'm a West Coaster, so I'm not going to say it like a Toronto local. I'd rather not signal being a local from Toronto. It's not my thing. I've always been an Albertan and a BC boy, prairie boy, and I'll stay that way. Yeah, people who have jobs. Yeah, and then I realized that like that's why it's so comfortable. All these tickets are like $2,000, starting at $1,800. So these are the kind of people that could pay $1,800 to a concert, and they're everywhere. And I'm like, oh, this is so nice. And they're from all over. But yeah, it's nice. Good people, chit chat. Hey, how's it going? It's good. Talk to you later. Have fun. Who was that? I don't fucking know. Seems like a nice person though. Nice people. Good wholesome stock. Anyway, so I owe Taylor Swift a thanks. Thank you, Taylor. You made yourself a Swiftie friend. All right, back to what we were talking about here with the whole the MaNoSpHeRe thing. Let me throw something in to change the pacing. Let's make fuck it.
I don't usually post pictures of my kids online, but they're infants and you can barely see them, so you know it's fine. But a YouTuber named Ryan Stone tweeted, showing off the F trophies for clout. So the babies are trophies that I'm showing off. It's perhaps not a surprise that a picture of a proud father would be so upsetting to the sort of man who clearly never had one.
Say what you will about Matt Walsh, at least he knows it's pro wrestling. Like, he didn't know who the fuck I was. One of his interns gave him the script. Ben Shapiro's like, here, yell at this guy. Go. Yeah. Don't say D. Damn it. By the way, Red Morning merch, store.ryanstone.com. Get it now while it's out. It's a limited time offer. I'll probably be taking this merch line down soon enough. I think I don't know how long it's been. I have to check. I'm doing like an annual sweep of the stuff and getting new stuff, so it'll be good. Not upsetting. Yeah, it's not upsetting. His audience needs that, though. Ryan sounds like a calm, reasonable person. How come he gets anger from so many people? Oh, you know what? James, $20 super chat. Thank you so much, sir. Chipping in for the Bruno clip. You know what? we've already gone too far. Let's go further. Let's do it one more time. And then I'll answer Erkin's question.
Ryan Stone, another fucking faggot. Socially retarded faggot, okay? He's a halfway decent looking guy, a nice smile. He can be a gentleman. He's snarky as fuck, even in person. And you have to get through that wall because he puts a wall up. He can't handle people in person, yet he blocks me and talks shit about he and Jack Napier and Ryan Stone. Two fucking fake names. Somebody find out their fucking real names for me and email me.
Damn it! Oh, I've just talked myself into doing a fucking ad, didn't I? Son of a bitch. James, that's for you. Thank you very much. A heartfelt socially retarded. Oh, it's a good thing I'm starting a new channel. If I ever get big, I'm going to be sitting there on fucking Oprah or The View. They're like, hey, we got a clip. We want to explain this. And they'll put this thing on there and be like, look, it's a long story. You don't want to really get into it. Just have some fun. Yeah, he smells nice. By and large, he showers. Anyways, thank you, James. Actually, I do appreciate this, guys, because I really did nuke this channel's monetization today. It's just, I stand, but it's actually good because it's like we're almost like making up for the difference now. So I do appreciate it. I know we're having fun, we're joking around, but thank you very much. It's nice to know that if I decide to take like a financial hit in for the sake of yucks, that you guys got my back. I really do appreciate it. You guys work for that money, and so like the time that you spent working on that and the time you're spending here, you're giving it to me as a way to say thank you, and I just want to say like I appreciate it. His real name is Ray Penpillage. This gave me the ick, and I didn't think that was possible. I know, it's whatever. Yeah. So Erican asks, sounds calm, reasonable. How come he gets anger from so many people? My running theory on this is because of when I talk about narcissistic injuries. I would argue, I think that's one of my, I don't even want to call it a talent. I think it's just one of those things. And I don't like bullshit. I'm past pretense. I'm past bullshit. Is it a wall? It's not a wall. I just don't trust you yet. You know what I mean? Which I guess is a wall. It is a wall. But it, tall fences make for good neighbors, right? And so a lot of people, they lie to themselves. They bullshit themselves. They believe certain things about themselves that aren't true because the idea is having to, what's that thing that Peterson says? Having to look at your shadow or whatever and clean your room is hard. Like, yeah, of course it's hard. If self-awareness was easy, everybody would be doing it. If being honest with yourself was easy, we wouldn't have fucking crazy people yelling at Trump right now. So I don't know what to tell you. Have their names, address, and SSNs on my desk by this afternoon. Yeah, 12-hour shift, keep it going. I'll do my best, sir. I'll do my best. Where am I going with this one? Oh, yeah. So everybody has their certain fantasies, right? A narcissistic fantasy, an identity. Kind of what we were talking about with Johnny Bravo. You know, that how do you do the business thing? Well, if you're going to be a stay-at-home business person, entrepreneur, you make this identity, entrepreneur, as like an archetype, a person. What does entrepreneurs do? And then you think of all of these symbols. Red pill, absolutely same thing. It's one of those things you can kind of tell when somebody's doing it. Like there was a guy a couple weeks back in the Patreon who was doing that. And he was basing his life decisions on a married red pill guy. What would a married red pill guy do? So he had his fantasy in his head of the idealized married red pill guy. And then he had a whole list of qualities and symbols that it was attached to it, you know? Same as here. And you want everybody to reinforce this. Like when Anthony Johnson says he's the president of the MaNoSpHeRe. I don't know if he believes it or not. I think so because he is kind of crazy. Like, I am the president. I'm the most important person here. That's ultimately it. And he doesn't care if you disagree with him, but you have to accept the framing. The argument is over whether he is the president of the MaNoSpHeRe or not. Not that he's not the center of attention. Same with Georgie here. He has this idea of his head being a wise old man who's got years of experience. When in reality, he's like just a bitter, jaded man who's alienated his family. But that's hard to accept. So instead, he builds up this persona, this identity of like the wise sage. He's fucking Yoda. He's Obi-Wan. Hence the beard. Beard could be a symbol. Wise people have beards. Virile old men have beards. So I'm going to have a beard. Doesn't matter if it's a good beard. Doesn't matter if it's a bad beard. Doesn't matter if he takes care of it enough. It doesn't take care of it enough. Doesn't really matter. Wear a dress shirt. Or that guy was tweeting yesterday about when he goes on to first class, he makes sure to wear a suit so people can be interested and see what he does for a living. That's another symbol. There's hundreds of these symbols that people have. Technically, I have those too as part of like the brand thing. The goofy sunglasses, the Hawaiian shirts, stuff like that too, right? But I mean, it's a work. That's the difference, is I'm self-awarely adding these ones as brand identity markers. But if you buy into your own mark and you start thinking, if you're like, if I get mad at my girl for throwing out a Hawaiian shirt, how dare you? That's the injury part. And that's the part that gets people mad at me, is that I tend to be very good at like spotting this kind of bullshit and jabbing at it and showing the emperor has no clothes. And it tends to make people mad. So I'm not saying this to brag. I don't think it's a great skill to have, but it is really fucking good for developing content of people yelling at you. So we all have our talents. Mine just happens to be useless. Derek, €2 super chat. Red pill will always be niche. Weirdos try catching cloud. I know it should. I think it should be niche too. And it technically still is. Like if I think about it, because this channel, it's how big? Hold on a sec. I got to do some numbers again. I am 26,000 subscribers, 27,000 subscribers almost. So it's not a small channel, but it's not a big channel either. It's like mid-tier. This is like niche channel. Anything above like 10,000 subscribers and under 100,000, I would argue is niche. Well, that sucks because Fresh and Fit and Rolo and all those guys, they're like huge. And it's like, yeah, but they're not niche anymore. They're getting into like just outrage bait stuff. So that makes sense. The movie channel is actually growing like way faster than this one. This channel is pretty like, it's peaked. About anybody who is red pill, who wants to be red pill, who wants to find this place has probably found it. That's it. There's nobody out there who would be like, oh, this is the greatest thing. What am I missing? Those guys have all got their niches. And then I noticed that because on the movie channel, like this one's like, 100 subscribers a month, very small, stagnant growth, which is whatever. I don't mind. It's not the point. The movie one is like, 1,000 extra people a month on a brand new channel. I'm like, Jesus Christ. How the fuck did that happen? That's because like everybody loves good movies. So that's like a way bigger niche. So I don't know if the red pill ever did go mainstream. I really don't. I think it's just red pill guys have joined onto larger niches. And in this case, yelling at chicks, Jerry Springer style, is a huge niche. You know how many guys out there? I would love it if you yell at that bitch. It's like those prostitutes that like guys just like, I want to pay her to beat her up. And you're like, I don't know if that's a thing, but you know what I mean? Like, oh, Jesus, is that a thing? Apparently it's popular. I don't know. Yeah, autist went mainstream. Red pill is still niche. Yeah. And I'm fine with that, to be fair. So the surprise is going to come. Like I said, the thumbnail in this one has a 7. Just keep an eye on that one. You'll see. Surprise will come there. So we got here. Autist went mainstream, red pill's niche. My brother sees the red pill as a weird cult. I don't blame him either. Of course he does. Because you know what kills me? Is that most people talk about it, and I've kind of been doing it here too. Like everybody talks about it in the meta. It's never, and this is even people that I like do this. I think I do it to some extent too. I try not to. I do mostly stick to as best I can, like actual stuff, but it's never covert contract discussions. It's never breaking free exercises. It's never game stuff. It's never nuts and bolts. It's always the red pill doesn't do this. The red pill does do this. It's proselytizing. Red pill has never said this. Red pill is that. Red pill is this. Red pill is that. It's all meta discussion. And that's probably, if you're just from the outside, doesn't know anything, and that's all you see, yeah, it's going to look like a fucking cult. Especially when you get like idiots doing it. Like when If you get George Bruno yelling and calling people socially autistic, F-bombs, and then red pill is bad and wrong and evil and everything good in the world and this, and it's like, of course it's going to look like a cult. What did you think it would look like if you were rambling like an insane lunatic? Defending it. I'm here to defend the red pill against those evil feminists who are baiting me for engagement for Elon bucks. It's like, fucking doing the Lord's work, sir. You know who else gets baited real easy into shit like that? Those like fundamentalist Christians that just joined, and so they're like hyper zealous about it because it's like the newest thing for them. So you can always tell, by the way. It's like, I think the Catholics have known this for a while. They call them 5-minute Catholics, like guys who just joined Catholicism, and then they start like Deus Vult. You're like, Jesus, man, slow it down. The McFish sandwich is on Fridays. Start there. We'll move up to Deus Vult. Like, first off, why are you defending it? It's not my thing. I'm not going to defend it. Because then as soon as you start defending it and treating it like a group, you're going to be judged by its worst actors. Like, anybody who's sitting here talking about how great red pill is, at some point it's going to have somebody going, well, Andrew Tate was trafficking women and laundering money. How do you explain that? And you're like, oh, who'd have thunk? I just wanted to join ISIS for the wives in Afghanistan. Now I have to explain 9/11? It's like, yeah, who'd have thought? Who'd have saw that coming? I just joined Black Lives Matter because I don't like police brutality. How am I supposed to explain all the rest of this burning down Portland? It's the way it is. And they taught me that in the military early on. We have like a media in basic training. It's the weirdest thing to have, by the way, in the modern times. In basic training, they have like a media PR course. It's not a big course, but they're like, they walk you through things you need to know. If you're in your uniform, don't fucking do something stupid. Don't be an idiot. And they're like, look, there's a lot of laws, a lot of regulations, a lot of standing operating procedures, a lot of SOPs. And yeah, they're all well and good, and you can follow all the law. But there is one law, like fucking Mordor, one law that rules them all. Don't embarrass us on fucking TV. No matter what you do, no matter what regs you're done, no matter what happens, if you're in uniform, don't embarrass us on TV. Because if I go to the Capitol on January 6th and live stream something stupid like a felony, I'm an idiot. But if I go to the Capitol on January 6th in a uniform, the military's an idiot. See the difference? And then there's specific laws where like they can charge you, and they call it conduct unbecoming. It's like out of the baby 6 or baby 5 or baby 6. Anyways, they call them the baby charges because these ones are basically like, if they throw them on you, you're guilty. Summary trial stuff. Get it out of the way. And number 6, conduct unbecoming. They will always add that because no matter what happens, they can prove you innocent within a shadow of a doubt. Like, no doubt he's innocent of all these charges. Conduct unbecoming. Guilty. Fucking done. Do not embarrass us. Now that's the military. Now imagine instead of the military, it's the red pill space and these red pill people. The fuck are you doing? I love this place. It's the greatest thing ever. Why are you telling that to some crazed feminist who's been doxing people all day? Why are you talking to a troon who's like 3 days away from a euthanasia project? Like, shut up. I enjoyed your critique of the Canadian military march. Dude, I'm so... like, I'm irritated. I should be over it. If you guys don't know, we just had Remembrance Day. Thanks, Marty. Let me just distract him quickly. Remembrance Day, which is, I think you guys have Veterans Day. But that's kind of like, out of all the Canadian traditions and symbols of national unity, I think that's our last one. All the rest of it, Tim Hortons got bought out by an American company. The Bay is owned by a Texas guy. Don Cherry got fired. Kraft Dinner doesn't even, like, nobody cares about any of this stuff. Wayne Gretzky's he lives in Vegas now. And all we got left, that's all we got left, is the Remembrance Day ceremony. The day that Canada joined, like, 11th day, 11th hour, 11th month, Remembrance Day, right? The armistice signed. Canada joined the war. We were still part of the British Empire, but that was the first time we kind of developed our own national identity. Huge thing. Big, a lot of reverence, centaphs, and a lot of Canadians are like, this is it. Like, Canada, it's full of new Canadians. It's full of new Canadians now. everything we've kind of held dear. A national broadcaster is a joke, a propaganda joke. Our government is they're just stealing. They're not even trying to hide it. Guy's like, I don't know what you're talking. The guy like is like a pasty white guy. He's like, I'm actually native and I'm running this native affairs thing and I get tax free. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, as bad as I can explain it, it's worse. It's so bad. Things here are so bad that I can't keep up. You have to be like a hardcore news hawk to follow every example of something. Like we got India's top 2 terrorist, like Indian Osama bin Laden is here in Canada pulling some shit. They just raided his house. Biggest drug busts ever. Every year we keep having the biggest drug bust in Canadian history. It's at the point that we've cooked our own real estate market. The elected officials are doing stuff. The Taylor Swift concert opened, and then 20 minutes later, the homeless encampment problem was solved. And then I'm like, okay, so they could solve the homeless problem. Well, yeah, they just put them in hotels. It's like, what? They put them in $2,000 a night hotels? Well, no, they had to, set up Airbnbs and stuff because technically they're using the hotels for migrants. And you're like, you know what I mean? Like, it keeps getting worse. So the one thing we have is our Remembrance Day ceremony. And they had the ceremony in Ottawa. And all these guys are just bear marching, which if you guys don't know, when you're marching, it's, left foot, right arm, left foot. You get it, right? I'm not going to go over like all the different drill movements here, but let's just basic stuff. So bear walking is when your right foot and your right arm and your left arm and your left leg. So you're almost like swaying like an action figure that can't twist and match. That's called bear walking. And if you ever bear walk on a parade practice, the chief bosun mate, or I guess RSM for the army, will fucking yell at you. You will march until you get it right. I don't care how many kilometers, 10K march until you march properly. And they're on Remembrance Day, and there's fucking officers, and there's petty officers, second class, NCOs, and they're bear marching, just dozens of them. And I know it's the reserves. I know that much. You can tell. That's not reg force, dude. These people would. I guarantee you these guys' shins would be bleeding from all the marching they had to do if they got caught doing this. And then before a Remembrance Day ceremony, it was like, that's a demoralization thing, man. I don't even know. Sam Whiskey 499. Red pill is a girl pitching an excrement in a Tim Horton lobby. People forget that though. They always thought, because Tim Hortons always advertised itself as like Canadiana. You get up in the morning, you got to go to work at your nice Canadian job, and you'll have a Timmy's, and there's always like a nice smiling college-age girl's like, here's your donut, sir. And you're like, fuck, I love Canada. And then they sold themselves to an American company. This quality went to shit. They started doing LMIA, which is like, we need some temporary foreign workers to cover this. So, and then now like people are like, TikTokers like, hey, my egg sandwich is molded. What the fuck? And there's like hundreds of these. Yeah. Canada, the king of not serious countries. We used to be. I know, and I'm getting a little nostalgic here, so I'll kind of stop after this. But I talk about it all the time. There was this YouTube showed me the documentary, came out in the 70s and 80s about building the CN Tower. I don't know what time it came out, but it was one of those ones, like 16 millimeter film kind of thing. And they were showing the construction of the tower, and I'm like, holy shit, this thing is amazing. Did you know the CN Tower? Like, it's just that's one single concrete pour for that entire thing. What they would do is they somehow managed to time it perfectly, and they have a mold of that CN Tower shape, and then they put it there, and then they pour cement into like the first 20 feet, and then as it dries, they slowly lift up the mold and keep pouring concrete. So as the layers cure, they keep pouring it on top, so it all cures in like a gradient for like 400 feet or however fucking tall it is. I was like, holy shit, that's amazing. And they're talking about the precision work that they had to do with this. At the very end, they're like, you know what, just because, let's add 100 feet to this thing. It was like the tallest building in the world, or tallest freestanding structure in the world at the time, I think. And then the final part, they had to get a helicopter to lift the last piece and put it in place. And it's already high as shit, man. Oh, dude, if you've ever been on it, it's fucking tall. But the problem is there's so much wind up there that the copter, and the air is thin, so the copter's having a hard time lifting that heavy thing and putting it in place. But they somehow managed to get up there, and they're like slowly guiding it to the point that, And then there's two guys underneath. They don't have like a harness with a thing on it. They're just holding onto the fucking rail, and they're like trying to grab this 1 ton thing. And they got to put it the equivalent of this. Like, that's the precision they needed on this thing. And they managed to lock it in place. And then the guys go down below and pop a champagne and start drinking on the job. I was like, it made me sad, man. I'm like, oh, dude, that shit's awesome. That's fucking awesome. And it's not even like these are the scientists. These are the best and the brightest. These are construction workers. I'm not saying they're bad. They're fucking great, but they're not some credentialed Elon Musk landing a rocket thing. He's just a plumber. And he's fucking conquering shit. And I'm like, that's awesome. Yeah, so I watch that and I see this now, and I'm like, I get why people are angry. I get it. Anyways, enough of that. Let's talk about the MaNoSpHeRe. But part of Canada's neurosis is it became the dumping ground for all the Scottish people and France's working class support of the French and the English empires. Oh, wow, you're going really far back. You're talking about like Upper Canada, Lower Canada shit right now. There's a lot. Yeah, everybody got mad about that, but they also got mad about all the Slavic, like the Ukrainians and that started filling up the prairie provinces. There was a movement where like only Anglo-Saxons need to be immigrated to Canada. That was around for the longest time. There was concerns about the French. Then the French are neurotic, or the Quebecers are neurotic because the French abandoned them. And there was a bunch of like separation terrorism stuff out of Quebec. Yeah, there's a whole lore of like that kind of stuff. And the West Coast is alienated against the East Coast. The East Coast treats the West Coast like they're foreign colonies. It goes pretty deep. But yeah, the neurosis ultimately is just everybody is so concerned about becoming the US that they'll actively like, oh, the US is prosperous? Fuck, can't have that. And it was all just a grift. Like, people just do that. The only time when that matters is when somebody wants your money, taxpayer or otherwise. So it's like, yeah. But it's kind of like the same as the MaNoSpHeRe anyway. And that's kind of this. Here's my segue. Fucking bland. Black pill doomers. Who gives a fuck? Like, what is a black pill doomer? Oh, it's these guys that are on the chart that never have sex. Really? Do you know who it is that never have sex? It's like teenagers, ugly ducklings, the ones that take a little time to get going. The ones at 18 are like, I've still never had a girl. By 23, you'll figure it out. But then there's always one guy in the chat, well, I'm 32 and I still haven't. It's like, you're the one guy. The one guy. And my heart bleeds for you. It really does. Maybe there's some condition that you'll never, ever. Maybe. I don't fucking know. Sure. But, and I don't mean to sound cruel or crass with this, but like, you don't count. This is not for you. It's not about you. Stop trying to make it about you. And I don't need to account for the 1 in a million edge case that, oh, well, I worked out and I have boundaries and the girls still don't. I don't know what to tell you. I will note that's what's currently changing right now, and a lot of old word bias and stuff is going to weigh in my eyes because the younger kids just want to work. Yeah. What I'm hopeful for is, well, maybe I might just leave. Like I said, I'm waiting until the election to see if I'm just angry at Canada or if I really do want to like have a go at being American. So do it for the right reasons. Oh yeah, unless you have a government grift, Canada's a bad deal. Yeah. But I think younger people, like the idea of building our own culture, I think that'll be pretty cool to watch like Canadiana come out of this. Because it kind of reminds me of that whole idea of like the 70s. The 70s kind of had this similar situation what we have now. Super hyperinflation, issues with like economic security, terrorism, FLQ shit was just still recent. So who knows? We'll see what happens. I notice Canadians I know here in ultra left-wing Vancouver have warmed up a lot to Americans. There was a lot of anti-American hate going on in the 90s and 2000s. Yeah, well, it was mostly insecurity. Because remember, too, NAFTA and the softwood lumber tariffs really hurt BC's economy. And so there was like an economic beef between us. But anyways, yeah, back to the sphere thing. Same thing. You got to account for these black pill doomers. There's like one guy in a comment section somewhere. And now everybody has to, and because he yells from his fucking Toyota Tacoma, now all the content has to be delivered to that guy. Like, talk about the ego attached to that. And then the creators aren't being left on the hook. You get this one guy and he's driving all of you guys to build your 100,000 subscriber empires to talk about him for an hour. It's like, get your shit together, man. The best people, if you're truly here for Rule 0, to help people, to do good, you know, to offer information, to be actionable, if that's truly what you're here for, your target audience doesn't comment on your shit. They throw a like sometimes. They're probably subscribed. They'll buy your books, whatever. You will never know they exist. You will never hear from them. On the rare occasion, one of them might give you like their I don't want to say sob story, but, you know, give you their, hey, dudes, this used to be so bad, and now we're here. Thanks. And you're like, I like seeing that stuff every now and again. I don't want to encourage it though, because then you see guys who are like, oh, I want to get on the thank you list, and then they'll start making up fan fiction stories. That's why everybody, doesn't matter what your content is, at some point you're going to get a comment, dude, you saved my life. You're like, oh, fuck, I bet. And you can always tell the difference between those ones. But I mean, as a content creator, you'd be like, dude, this guy's speaking well of me. I better promote it. And that's just the rule. Like, look, it's the job. If somebody's calling me an asshole, or if somebody's calling me the greatest thing since sliced bread, I got to promote that stuff, because I got a job to do here. But I, at the very least, will let let the guy know, like, it's wrestling. Relax. You choose Louisiana because you'd be uncomfortable without any French to make fun of. Are they even French in Louisiana anymore? I heard that like Creole is just done, and that's technically not French anyway. Those are just like Acadians. Unless you live in New Brunswick, Sluggo, I don't think you'd know a Louisianian. If you guys don't know, Acadians are like this weird hybrid French. Like in French, salut is the hello. Like, hey, salut. Salut. But in Acadian, it'd be like salut bye, which is like a Newfoundlandese French. It's pretty funny. You used to live there. Ah, you lived some long ago by. Technically, that's Newfie or PEI, but you know what I mean. The Brunswickers, they know that. Not French in Louisiana. Poor bastards. Yeah, so Cajun, Acadian, same thing. It's like this weird hybrid French thing. They're like Blade. They're vampires, but they can go outside at daytime. That's why Terrence Popp always asks for the story before assigning a dog tag. Yeah, I can see that being smart. I guess the Haitians are close enough. They're eating all the cats. The cats and the dogs. Dude, there's so many memes right now of guys making AI clips of like cats and dogs dressed in military gear and Trump like charging into war with them. They're pretty fucking funny. They got very heroic music and stuff. But yeah, so it's like, and then there's like an actual audience of people that this is for. And I remember this when we first started doing all of this stuff, there was nobody online. I don't remember what started it. I think it was like the convention kind of was like the start, but I don't know what the trigger event was. There was some reason that I think Rollo eventually was like, dude, if like at some point there has to be a presence on like more than just the forums, because it's like people are taking it, they're turning it into their own grift. Illimitable Man had his little concern about monetization of the MaNoSpHeRe. Everybody else was trying to do their thing, and it's like, oh, let's make it a proper thing. And it was always our goal. And I remember this is back to George Bruno. At some point, we were talking about, I don't remember what we were talking about in our group chat, and he was worried about purity spirals. Like, what's this purity thing? What was this, like, fundamentalist, blah, blah, blah? No, we're not about that. And it was like, look, like, I get what Rollo, and he was fighting with Rollo, and I'm like, look, it's all he's saying, and I get it, is, like, be here for Rule 0. Be here because to offer a value for men. You know, do what you want financially. Just be here for that. Sexual strategy, male identity. And it was funny because a week later is when they booted Rollo out of his own convention and had their little coup talking about, I've been looking, I don't know where the fuck I left them. They're somewhere in a Google Drive somewhere. I have like the old screenshots of the Telegram chat where if everybody wonders, why do you shit on George Bruno so much? Like, I'll show him to you. You'll know exactly why. Because he was just talking like the Knights of the Round Table. You have been exiled from the kingdom, sir. I'm like, fuck, I'm going to save this one. I have a feeling this might come up later. I showed it once a long time ago when Anthony Johnson started first spurging out too. He had like a memes like, I fired him and Rich Cooper and Ryan. And I sent the screenshots. It's like, yeah. And then he blocked me. Like, don't make me look stupid, you son of a bitch. Yeah, be interested in the subject matter of interest. Yeah. And it's like, do whatever. Like, nobody cares how you do it, why you do it. Do you want to be a clown when you're doing it? Do you want to be serious? Do you want to be academic? Nobody gives a shit about that. Just be here for the right reasons. And that's when everybody kind of lost their fucking mind. The deaf ninja led the charge. Who would have thunk? The deaf ninja stabs you in the back. He couldn't hear you coming. I guess this stuff is harder than it looks like, right? You have to really, because even if you're just doing dry information, you're still wrapping it into a story. And ultimately, that's all the red pill content delivery is about, telling stories. People will tell field reports. A field report is a story of your own life structured in a certain way so that you can benefit from it, right? Look inside yourself. What did you do that was wrong? What did you do that was right? What did you do that defined right and wrong differently than you should have or could have? Where are the mistakes being made? Where's the unfuckable stuff? Where's the commonality? And then you see 5 or 6 field reports of guys and it's all doing similar things. And then you wrap that around a theory. And then the theory is another story. And then your girl brings you a coffee because she's fucking awesome. Hey, ryanstone.com, store.ryanstone.com. Use promotion code PROMOTION, all lowercase. I don't think the case matters. Code PROMOTION, $5 off. You're basically getting it at cost. I think they won't let me do that unless I make at least 99 cents. So it doesn't matter to me. It's $1. It'll buy me a can of pop. It'll buy me a hot dog at Costco. Half a hot dog at Costco. But you get to enjoy it, and that's what matters. It's like my third coffee or energy drink today, and I'm not even awake yet. I'm not even up. The walls are up, but I'm not up. But you see what I mean? And it's all stories. And then you take all those theories and you coalesce them into a narrative structure, aka a book or a YouTube video. So ultimately, it's like this percolation of stories, almost like the way we used to do things back in caveman days, sharing stories amongst the elders or whatever shit. And I don't mean to make it sound like wise or anything, because it's just a bunch of dudes talking about our dicks. And I know Archwinger likes to always like make fun of it for being, it's just a bunch of idiots. And I did too, where it's like at the end of Mid's watch where I'm like, you guys thought Jack was smart? You thought I was smart? Here's us doing some stupid, dumb shit. It's like, we're just guys. Here's the stories. I can take from it what you need and discard the rest. But I guess stories are hard. Storytelling is hard. And ultimately, that's what you have to do. I see it with field reports. Guys, the average person, like in my Patreon, is not an idiot. They are smart people. And I'm not saying that just to fluff them. I really mean that. Like lawyers, military guys, police, educated people, entrepreneurs, retirees. Like, there's not people working at Walmart in there, is what I'm saying. And I'm not shitting on Walmart. Honest work is honest work. But you know what I mean. Capabilities, right? Not stupid people. And even then, some of them take like 6 months, a year, just to be able to tell a proper field report. And it's not proper for me. It's proper for them. Because if they can't structure their own life in a narrative structure that works for them, then they're not doing themselves any favors. They're not processing their life in a way that's beneficial to themselves. And there's a couple small things they always do. Like, they don't even make themselves their own main character in their story. You have to be the protagonist. How do you know when they're not the protagonist? Because the story is all about their bitch wife or their bitch ex-wife or their bitch girlfriend or that chick that turned him down. It's like, dude, you're not even a character in your own story. Like, fix that first off. And then they fix that. And then once you take everything from your own perspective, all of a sudden things start to pop up. Oh, yeah, she was a bitch right there, but here's where I enabled it. Or, oh, she did some dumb shit right here, but here's where I turned that fight into a 4-day yell match. Oh, here's where she wanted to give me a blowjob, but my hands were too cold, and I turned that into a domestic violence accusation. See what I mean? So guys start to see, yeah, all this shit is going wrong, and all these people are doing you dirty, but here's some situations here, low-hanging fruit. And this is why girls can't do it, because you know that whole, they're always worried about getting struggle hugged. And so guys are like, hey, how about don't walk around strange alleys at night, don't get passed out drunk at frat parties, like basic survival skills. And girls are like, how dare you shame me for that? It's like, dude, it's not about shame. Why aren't you so mad at the rapist? You're like, no, trust me, we are. In the meantime, though, just don't pass out, blackout drunk in front of rapists. That is like the best thing you can do with your life right now. And I go, shut up, fucking men. You're like, oh. And so yeah, guys, to get there, it takes them like a year, 6 months to a year. It's crazy, isn't it? And you realize that's just field reports. And then to be able to take a bunch of field reports and notice a pattern out of them that you can create a narrative theory out of, that's another skill set. And out of the hundreds of thousands of people writing field reports, half of them are getting good at it. Out of those people, like 1% of them are able to write decent theory around it that sticks and that it resonates. And most of the time, guys are rewriting the same thing. Like there's every mental model you'll see will have 12 people writing their own version of it. Some will be popular, some will be unpopular, and it's kind of like over time. People retweet the ones that work, people just ignore the ones that don't. Eventually, like the best of the best will kind of stick out there. And then out of all of those hundreds of theories out there, Iron Rules of Tomasi, Assertive Bill of Rights, Archetypes of Practical Female Psychology, like all of these things. Then you get like a dozen people, maybe, who are able to take all of those and again refine them into a narrative structure to actually provide a book, a Rational Male, or a Practical Female Psychology, or a Why Women Have Sex, or a Married Man's Sex Life Primer. So yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I get it. It's hard. And it's not hard in that you're just not good enough at it. It's like, it's just hard. If it was easy, we wouldn't need it. See, you see goofs like this Tim Tom guy here. Like, shut the fuck up. That's all. Just shut up. Well, I don't know how else to say it. Yeah, there's a lot of the same thing written over. And I think that's a good thing. If you're seeing the same thing coming up constantly in different wording, different versions, that's a good thing. That means it's resonating. That means it's a common struggle, a common success story, a common whatever. Repetition is how these things work. And then, you get, like Misha saying in there, I Am Steve McQueen's story, a good depiction of the importance of a bit of introspection. Oh yeah, dude, it's sitting in my drafts right now of my Substack because I don't want to write it, but it's such a compelling thing. I kind of want to. It started with, it wasn't from him. It was somebody else talking about, fuck, I don't remember. 2 seconds. I have to go look quickly. Drafts. Wife's Xmas plans. Oh no, that's his other one. Yeah, so the idea of Steve McQueen. Oh yeah, that is the one. So he came in, he's like, all these guys are bitching about their wives and making success. He's like, I get it. And he walks in and the whole thing was just like, fuck my bitch wife and her bitch stuff. She's gaining weight, she's acting bitchy, she's doing stuff like this. And he's reading through all the stuff, and he's like, all right, I got this. He's like, I read through Married Man Sex Life Primer. I'm good. Oh, that's where it started. It started in the Married Man Sex Life Primer forums getting shut down, the Athel K one. So it's like a big blending story. I kind of like it as like a grand narrative. Athel K, he's one of those guys at the very top of the story pile. He made Married Man Sex Life Primer. He made, what's the other one he did? It doesn't matter. Oh, yeah, and then he had the forums and the head business thing. He was basically doing what Rollo or I did in a different form. A lot of coaching stuff. And everything was going well for him. And then he's like, I don't need this stuff anymore. Wife will be great. And then the wife caught in and she started fiddling with the business and it essentially just ruined the place. Went bankrupt. He had to close it down. People stopped showing up. Anything that was useful, they literally kicked out the useful, productive people. It had a very Ayn Rand vibe to it. And then he ended up getting a heart attack or something, bankrupted his house. It was pretty sad. Anyway, at that point, Steve McQueen is talking shit. Like, you guys need to update. None of this stuff works very well. And it was because he was going through his own, you can't tell me what to do. I fucking got this. Ditched his wife. She's like, she's the fucking problem. I'm the fucking man. Starts dating. And he's like, this is great. I got a new girl. She's so much better than my wife. And blah, blah, blah. I think I'm going to get in a relationship with her. And everybody's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you haven't sorted out any of your shit yet. And you think you got this and you think she's the problem? She's like, yeah, it was her. I'm fine. Like, all right. 6 months later, he's like, doing the same shit my wife used to do. Fucking women, am I right? And just zero self-awareness. I'm trying to see where like the ending to that story is. I don't know enough about Greek tragedies. It'd be written as a Greek tragedy. Yeah, it's getting easier to connect the dots the more red pill stuff I read and watch. Recognizing patterns is easier too. Yeah, it has to be a back and forth between ingesting and experiencing. That's the one thing. Like, one of my favorite things, I'll end on this because we're at time right now. But one of my favorite things is where like a guy will watch all the Rolo stuff. He'll read Rational Mail. He kind of knows iron rules, rooting through trash, like rooting through garbage, whatever. Yeah, iron rule number 7, never root for the garbage. Any chick that you dumped, there's a reason you dumped her, don't get back together with her. And then you'll start doing stuff, and then he's got some justification why, we never really dated, or I want to get back together with her, and they got it all figured out. That's fine. And then all of a sudden it'd be like, starts talking about problems, and he goes, and just one day I just realized, it's like, I could have wasted way less time if I had just gotten a new girl, as opposed to like wasting my time bringing up this old relationship. And you're like, you mean like iron rule number 7? And they're like, oh. And it's funny when they like have the connection between the thing that they learned on some pithy platitude tweet and the thing that they actually experienced in their life. And they're like, holy shit, I get it. I was like, oh, fucking, I love that shit. I love it. Could it be a similar story to Sisyphus? Some guys are. But we'll see. Like I said, I'm finished writing for a bit. I got to do some desktop publishing, and I'll probably have to write an introduction to Praxeology 3 and 4. So if that gets done, it's gonna be in the future. Plus, I got to do a next video. So Rambo 3 is out. Oh, okay, here. All right, fuck the MaNoSpHeRe stuff. Let's talk about something good. Where'd it go? Did I put it on here yet, or did I not? Text 3. All right, I got to add something. One sec. Recordings, R3. Oh, I got a bunch in here too. That's awesome. All right, we'll do the first one. Fuck it.
What does this work? It's a blue light. What does it do? Turns blue.
Do you love action but hate pinko commies?
What the?
Do you yearn for an age where we were the good guys and had clear bad guys without some deconstruction about maybe the real evil is the friends we made along the way? Simple and effective stories. Stories perfectly told. A movie that has refined its genre to the point of perfection. Not a line of dialogue out of place, not a wink to the audience. Unironic awesomeness. A movie where you ram a tank into a helicopter for no reason other than it's awesome. A movie that lets you know it's okay to bring a bow and arrow into a combat zone. Do surgery on yourself with nothing but a campfire and a knife? Well, I have the movie for you. In the age of peak Hollywood genre, a working, stiff second unit director making his film debut with the greatest action movie ever conceived, teaming up with Vietnam-era veteran writer, teaming up with Oscar award-winning actor turned action star Sylvester Stallone, creating action Americana that's so good you'd swear it was propaganda. It's the pinnacle of movies if you like movies with witty banter.
Any ideas? They're rounding themselves. Hell of a time for humor, John.
Cool one-liners.
Who do you think this man is? Good. Oh, God, would have mercy. He won't.
Over-the-top violence, indulgent pain, and the perfect mix of mindless action and mindful characters. This is their uncle who showed up at Thanksgiving to piss off your sister who returned from university to lecture you on racism. It's the peak of action in Rambo. Rambo 3.
Fucking love that movie, man. It's one of my favorites. It really is the best.
What does this work? It's a blue light. What does it do? Turns blue.
There was a sculptor, and he found this stone, a special stone. And they said he had created a great statue. And the sculptor said he hadn't created anything. The statue was always there. We didn't make you this fighting machine. We just chipped away the rough edges.
I guess I'm not ready yet.
All right. It turns blue. I don't know why that one makes me laugh. What does that do? Turns blue. So it's on the channel right now. Go check it out. I'll even put a link. You know what? I'm gonna put a link, and I'm gonna. What's the other thing you're supposed to do? Pin it to the thing. It's pinned to the live chat. Fucking go do it. Oh, dude, it's crushing it already. #1 out of my last 10. Good for him. Where's my YouTube stinging? Thank you, sir. Actually, I had to do a lot of work to get that Orion thing to work well. I'm trying to do another one with the Coleco Films or Coleco logo. You know, the one that looks like an OCP one? But that I don't know how to do that yet. Like, I have to do like a whole art thing. I had to do like research to find out what's the typography they use for Orion. I had to redesign like the vectors on it all together. It was pretty good. Why does Rambo 3 have a low grade on IMDb? 5. I don't care. I don't care why. It's probably because I know a lot of the people who complain about it. It's because it's not First Blood, and First Blood was like a thoughtful critique of the Vietnam War. But it's like, it's advanced past that. It's at the point where it's, and the reason I enjoy Rambo 3 is because it was a mashup of like the military action genre, but it's perfect. It does it perfectly. It's pinnacle. Everything you wanted to do, that's where it completely hit up. When's the Orion vid on Netflix? Hot Frosty. I don't know what that means. Oh, the Hot Frosty, the movie. I don't know. We'll get there. The next one I'm going to do is Gattaca. And my girl's been bitching at me. And it's a good idea, actually, to do Flash Gordon afterwards. So I'll probably do that next. So yeah, Gattaca's going to be a big one. It's probably going to have a different like vibe than all the rest of these ones. We'll get there. Come check it out. Go subscribe to that channel. Why are you not there? Because like, I'm not doing this forever. Fuck it, let's go have some fun. But, Rule 0. All right, that's the last thing I got to do. Where are these guys? Who's doing Rule 0 today? Let's move you over there. Rule 0. Where the fuck is it? One from Nuke. Thing on Free Will. Nicholas. I don't know who's hosting. Oh, there it is. Hag Maxing. What the fuck? Who comes up with these titles? Sam Whiskey, $4.99. Saving Private Ryan is a great movie. Saving Ryan's Privates is a different kind of movie. To be fair, if I'm going to do like the sexual parody movies, I'll probably do Flesh Gordon. And I remember as a kid, I thought that movie was fucking hilarious. Just the big, the centaur at the end, he falls off the thing. He's like, ow, my ass. It was back, because there was like these campy sex romp movies that came out of like Britain in the 70s and that. They were pretty funny. But yeah, they don't make like nudie satires like they used to. It was actually pretty good. Kind of like Airplane, but with tits. Anyways, enjoy yourselves, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. I will talk to you later. Rule 0 there. I'm going to try to make it. We'll see what happens. Sorry about the Tyson fight. That was kind of ridiculous. And let's leave you on a high note.
Ryan Stone, another fucking faggot. Socially retarded faggot, okay? He's a halfway decent looking guy, a nice smile. He can be a gentleman. He's snarky as fuck, even in person. And you have to get through that wall because he puts a wall up. He can't handle people in person, yet he blocks me and talks shit about he and Jack Napier and Ryan Stone. 2 fucking fake names. Somebody find out their fucking real names for me and email me.
'79T 2458 Learning Corp. Little Red Riding Hood. Take 1.